Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. All of my gremlins. We got the one, the only 6 shooter. Are you that way? Yeah, you're that way. One and only 6 shooter right there.
How
So I
y'all
have
doing?
I have to ask you the first question. It's the question everybody's going to be wondering. Do you really carry a 6 shooter? That's got to be the first question.
Honestly, I used to. That used to be my number one go-to was revolvers and stuff, and just in the last couple of years kind of moved to more semi-autos. I still got a few of them, and I actually got my biggest one as a 5 shooter. I got a 500 Smith& and Wesson.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never shot one, but I've heard it hurts your hand. That's what I've been told.
I It depends. It can, but it's really fun and stuff. It
Yeah, I'd love to shoot one. I'll have
A
to
lot
come
of it
visit.
depends on your grip and how much you brace for it.
Yeah.
If you kind of know what to expect, you're not too bad. But if you're, grabbing, going to shoot it like a 9 millimeter, it might get you.
Yeah, probably a 9 millimeter is my go-to. That's what I carry, a G19. So yeah, it's very comfortable. I actually had a company contact me yesterday over email wanting to send me a holster to review, and I'm kind of iffy on whether I want to do it or not because I don't really show firearms on my channel whatsoever, just because of how YouTube is with that kind of thing. And it's a good way to get your channel demonetized, banned, censored, and all this other stuff. So, yeah, I'm not really sure. I'll have to discuss it with them a little more before I make that kind of a decision. That's the first
Yep,
time anybody's ever solicited my channel, though. That's the very
that
first
is
one.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. You want to send me what? Like,
You
yeah,
could
you could
uh
send me stuff.
you could always get you an airsoft or something like that and use that for demonstration.
Yeah, I actually have an airsoft, a Ruger. It's a Ruger CO2 cartridge pellet gun. So
Mm.
yeah, I would have to make sure it fits. But I thought about getting one of those blue training pistols for it,
Yeah,
and but those things are
something
like
like that.
$60. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna buy $60 training pistol. What do I need that for? I'd use it one time. So yeah,
I've seen some of them that are training pistols like that you can actually rack the slide and it shoots like a laser beam and stuff, but I think they're like a couple $100.
yeah, no thanks. No, no, not doing all that. All right, who we got out here in the chat? I see Rip Curl. I see Elusive Prepper. There's Shorty. How's it going, Shorty? I really got to confirm how short you are because that's just bothering me. It really bothers me to call somebody Shorty and think that they might be 6 foot tall. So, Gray Man Prepping. How's it going? Did you know Gray Man has merch? Have you heard that?
I've heard that.
Yeah, I was just making sure. There's B Charming is in the house. D Brown. Let's see, I'm scrolling through chat here. Texas Red. I seen Hutch in here earlier. Hutch Homestead's in here. I think he's lurking. He's probably lurking. Mojo Man, 1965. I like that name. That's a good name. Prepper Wizard. How's it going? Raptor Ranch. I don't think I know Raptor Ranch. I don't recognize that name. What's a Raptor Ranch? Do you really have raptors on your ranch? Because what do those taste like? I'm curious. Hmm. Anyway, Jefferson Marshall Arts, how's it going? So, do you want to tell everybody about your channel? And before you do that, the link for your channel is the second link in the description right under Grindstone Ministries. Please go over there and fill his channel with gremlins,
I
chickens, Raptor
appreciate
Ranch,
that.
Raptor
But
chickens.
yeah, my channel's kind of a little bit of everything. I guess more like a vlog or something like that. But I got a lot of prepping and homestead stuff and some logging stuff and some music and just a lot of stuff in general, kind of country lifestyle.
So, you must like this hat then, huh?
I do. And as a matter of fact,
Oh, here we go. We got to see the hat. Now, that's a way better hat than that other one you had on there. I like
I
that
kind of
hat.
wish it was flared up a little bit, but
Oh, you can do that
anyway.
yourself. There's ways to make it stay if you know how to mold. I think you got to get it wet, or depending on the material it's made out of. And yeah,
Yeah, this is a Stetson. I've
really,
actually been scared to mess it up.
yep. I see Flannel Gizmo is in there, and he ain't got no hats. I bet you got flannels though. How's it going, Arkansas living? In here trolling me under Flannel Gizmo. I hope he's seen that picture I made earlier of Flannel Gizmo and put it online because that was funny. I did it just for
Yeah.
him. Yep, just for him. I need to adjust it so I can put it as an emoji, so Flannel Gizmo can have a Flannel Gizmo emoji.
That would be cool.
That's my goal. Good evening, Your Majesty, Prepper Wizard. Really? Who are you calling Your Majesty? Because I know it ain't me. Can't be me. Everybody keeps calling me the King Gremlin. I think Prepper Nation actually started that for some odd reason. I don't know. I guess he was getting tired of the Brokeback jokes. But he actually broke his back, so, well, didn't technically break it, but hurt it. So, more Brokeback jokes to be had for sure. All right, I see 56 people in the chat. We're low. Somebody needs to go share it for me. Share the stream, people. We need more. 29 likes. We could use a few more of those also, for sure. So how long have you been doing the YouTube thing?
A little bit over a year, something like that. But I still got a long way to go figuring everything out, and better editing skills and stuff. I'm kind of slacking on that.
Yeah, editing skills can go a long way with production quality. From what I'm told, I really don't do a lot of editing for my videos. Sometimes I will when I make certain videos, but for the most part, I just, it takes up so much time. I mean, you can spend a 20-minute video like 6 hours editing the thing. So yeah, it's time consuming. But I can help you with some basic editing skills if you'd like. The program I use is Adobe Premiere Pro, something like that. Adobe Premiere Pro. I think that's what it's called.
I appreciate it.
It's a subscription base, so it costs or you can buy it outright, but outright is like hundreds of dollars. The thing's expensive, but the subscription is a lot cheaper if you do the monthly, or I think I do every 3 months, because I use that thing for a lot. Even though I don't edit my videos constantly, I always run it through that program to make them upload and process a lot faster. So yeah, it's definitely helpful for sure.
Yeah, I found out, that you wouldn't think, but you can take like a 10-minute video and sometimes it'll take 2 hours to upload.
Yeah, I can take a 20-minute video and upload it in 3 minutes. So
that's pretty good.
That's with the program. Without the program, just because I have a really fast internet speed, I can take a 20-minute video and upload it in 20 to 25 minutes if I don't run through the editing. But you also got to remember the quality of your videos. If you keep it in 1080p, it'll upload a lot faster. If you go anything higher than that, it'll take hours to upload. So
yeah, I've got a GoPro that records in 4K, and anytime I use that, it takes a ton more space and a lot longer to process or upload or anything you do with it.
Yeah, you can set that GoPro to record in lower settings, like a 720 or 1080 also. So you just play with the settings. I have a GoPro Hero 5 that I don't use because it doesn't work anymore. But yeah, when I was using it, my phone actually has a lot better video quality than that thing. I use a Galaxy Note 10. Yeah, Note 10.
Yeah.
And yeah, it had a lot better video quality than the Hero 5. So I just stuck with the phone. It worked out better for me.
The cell phone cameras came so far, it's hard to, just use a regular camera anymore, because the phone's a lot better than most of the cameras unless you spend a big amount of money.
Oh yeah, they have some really nice $1,000 cameras, but yeah, I'd love to have one too. That'd be awesome. I'd definitely take it out to the woods and do those really nice videos. You ever watch a channel called Joe Robinette Bushcraft? And he's got some really awesome cameras. He's got like well over 1 million subscribers. He was on the Alone show for like 2 episodes because he lost his ferro rod. But yeah, that was kind of funny. But yeah, camera equipment and lighting and all this crap you have to do to record videos. If it was only so easy as just to take a selfie and be done with it. But nope, it's not that easy. I have learned a lot in the 2 years my channel's been online, a lot about just video recording, video editing.
Like I said, I've only done it about a year or so, and kind of, hit and miss at times, but I've learned a lot of that too. It takes a lot of time, because pretty much anytime you make a video, you're going to screw something up, and then you got to, cut that and reshoot it or whatever and stuff. And then all the editing and stuff, it can take you a day to make a 15-minute video.
Yeah, it could if you're really putting a lot of effort into it. That's why I don't edit a lot of my videos. I just, even if I drop something on my head, it's going online typically. So it's happened before. I was recording a video walking around a cliff next to a waterfall, and I fell on my butt. It's still in the video too. You can watch it right now. It's still there. Arkansas living, or flannel gizmo, whatever you want to call yourself today, man. I want to know what's in the back of that truck. You got to make a video for it. I got to know. It's driving me insane to know. And this is not a blue flannel. It's actually gray. It's the lighting that's making it look blue. So, yeah. So how did you get started in prepping and all that fun stuff that us crazy people do?
Well, I grew up, my parents had a small farm and had some cows and, gardens and stuff like that. And I kind of grew up in it like that, but I grew up and got married and got my own place and everything. And we had a little small garden and stuff. And then when the kids come along, it was so much work, we quit. And then we just got started back in doing the garden and stuff last year. But uh, probably a year and a half ago or so, I started watching some prepping style videos on YouTube and doing a little bit, here and there and stuff like that. But really serious into it, over the last year and stuff.
Yeah, there's certain prepping videos that can really motivate you. Like Ice Age Farmer, for one. He'll make you want to go out and buy food every time you watch one of his videos. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good channels out there for sure. There's a lot of them that sell you a lot of stuff too. I need to start selling more stuff, don't I? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got a Teespring too, and the only person that's bought something from it is me.
Oh, you got merch. Everybody 6 shooters got merch.
Just a little bit.
We gotta, compete with Gray Man. Gray Man's got all the merch, so I mean, he's making it hard for the rest of us with all those sales he's getting over there.
We all have to band together.
Yeah, we have to band together against Gray Man. You hear that, Gray Man? We're coming for you. I know you're out there. Flannel Gizmo's gonna make a truck video tomorrow. Awesome. I really want to know what's in that truck. I bet you he's got a gizmo somewhere in that truck. I bet you he does. Homestead Oss, welcome to the live stream. That's my adopted parents right there, Homestead Oss. They give me hats. Yeah, well,
That's
a hat.
cool.
So, yeah.
I would ask for a hat too, but they seen I had one earlier, so I'm ready to luck on that.
Hey, you got a Stetson. That's a pretty good hat there. So, yeah, there are a lot.
I don't wear it a lot.
To adjust it though. Why not?
I don't know. I just usually stick with regular old ball cap normally.
What's on the top of that ball cap? It looks like a camera mount.
It's actually a bracket for
a light bracket.
Yep, the Olight Mini per run.
Yeah,
it's probably the most used thing that I carry in EDC because it's always up there. And now it's wintertime, it gets dark so early and stuff, and feeding the animals or even working on stuff in a dark place, I use that light all the time.
I gotta grab something that's on my floor right here. This is my extra one right here, and this one has the light built in.
Yeah.
Right, and yeah, I highly recommend these, but I'm actually designing a blueprint to build my own that's better than this. And in mine, instead of these little flat watch batteries in the battery pack that this has, I'm actually putting a rechargeable lithium ion battery right there that you'll be able to plug in and recharge it instead of having to buy watch batteries constantly, because that's the biggest downside about this thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is. I had a few of them before. That's like this one here, it's rechargeable there on the bottom, so you're good to go.
Yeah, my through night has a recharge port right here on the side, and I don't really like. I've only ever owned one Olight, and I barely ever used it, and it died on me. The bulb either blew or some kind of the electronics, and it went out. I put like 4 different batteries in it, made sure they were charged, tested it several different times trying to get it to work. I even did the whole bang it on something and nothing. I had to send it in for a warranty claim, and that's why I kind of shy away from Olights, just because of that. It's the only Olight I ever had, and it failed. So, and I've had several nights, and I've done some serious damage to some through nights, and they still work. So,
honestly, a lot of people hate on the Olights and stuff because they're cheap, but every one I've had has been good. And I had one that was bigger than this one here, the S2R Baton or something like that. They got some weird names for some of them, but
Yeah.
I did a torture test on that, and I actually took it and put it in my driveway. And then the truck I got for work, it weighs like 13,000 pounds, and I ran over it with that, and it still works. It didn't even, put a few scratches, but it didn't hurt it at all.
My Olight must have been defective, is all I can think. I actually have it right here in this kit. This is either the same one or a new one they sent me. This is the M1T Raider. It's pretty small as well. It just has the tail switch. It's not rechargeable, and
yeah,
it's just one of the cheaper ones. I keep it in my survival kit here that I keep in my pocket. Usually during wintertime. In the summertime, it goes in the EDC bag. But this has an emergency blanket in there that I needed one day.
So far, I've had really good luck with them. I can't complain,
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about them. I've heard bad things about them, but that goes for any product you can buy. Even through night, there's good stories, bad stories. So, I mean, but
I think it's kind of like everything else is in a cheaper price range. You'll get one and it'll be a great product, and then the next guy will get one and it's just total trash, and it just, the ratio isn't quite as top quality as something like Surefire or something,
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with something that's such high price like a Surefire, because this thing right here is at its maximum brightness, 2100 lumens. I mean, you can light up a world with this thing. I've used it out in the middle of nowhere in pitch black forest while I was camping, and I could just make it look like daylight. And I like when I can make it look like daylight when you're hearing strange sounds from the lake near you, in the middle of the woods by yourself. Yeah, it's good to be able to light it up really well. But you got to be careful, because I put a small hole in my sleeping bag with this thing because I set it down on it, and while it was on, it gets really hot. I mean, I tried to start a fire with it one day and I couldn't do it, but I tried. It would have been cool if I could have. I'd have definitely had a video up with that. One video I got to make is how to build a spear using this.
That looks pretty cool.
This is a piece of flint knap stone, and I don't know what kind of stone it is that somebody had given to me, a subscriber, and I'm going to attempt to make a spear out of it. I don't know how to do it. I'm going to attempt it anyway. I looked online. I can buy some sinew, some wet sinew, which is I can't even describe it now. It's like muscle tissue, and when it dries, it shrinks and really grips something. So I'm thinking some sinew and going out to the woods and finding a piece of oak, because why not? There's a lot of oak in my area, so why not?
Oak and hickory make good handles, and pretty much anything you want to use for. They're good strong wood.
Yeah, I think I got some hickory around too. I might find some hickory rather than oak, because it's a little more pliable than oak would be. So it's not a bad idea. So tell me about some of your preps. What's one thing you prep more than anything else? And I hope you say food.
Well, it's probably among the food line, but I try to focus a lot on homesteading and being able to produce, more than relying on preps and stuff. So I've been doing a lot of greenhouse stuff and getting a heater put in there, and I just got some grow lights the other day because, it's been so rainy and cloudy around here. They're not getting enough sunshine, so I had to get some of those. But we got the greenhouse set up, and I got my garden spot tilled for, spring when we can plant and stuff, and I made it about twice as big as it was last year, so we ought to be good to go on that.
Yeah, I seen a video you posted a couple of days ago about your greenhouse. I was watching it. I didn't comment, but I was trolling around videos. Well, I guess trolling around. I was going to go troll Arkansas Living too, but yeah, he needs a good troll over there. So if you're bored one day, go find Arkansas and just troll him just for fun. I think everybody needs to go troll. Yeah, everybody watching, just go over to Arkansas Living and troll him just for one day. We'll all do it. That'd be fun. Let's see, James, the Southern Prepper. How's it going? So our homestead also just looks like slate. I have no idea. I'm not a rock person, so I don't know.
Last year when we had the garden and stuff, I had 6 rows of string beans, and we canned 117 quarts of it, and plus gave 2 or 3 bunches away to people. They really produced.
Wow. What area do you live in?
I'm in Zone 7A. I'm in Virginia.
Virginia. So you're over there by Prepper Nation then, huh?
Yeah, probably not too far.
Probably not. So how many quarts of green beans did you say? 100 and what?
117 out of those 6 rows.
Quarts. Wow. Yeah, last time I grew green beans, I probably got about 2 of those plastic grocery bags full, but I didn't can any of them. I fried them up and ate them all. But yeah, that's a lot. That really is.
Yeah.
Do you grow potatoes by any chance?
Huh?
Do you grow potatoes?
Yeah. We actually grew a few of those last year. They didn't do quite as good as I was expecting, but we actually ended up canning a lot of them too. Of course, we ate them, and we had some, just stored as they are and stuff. But we tried to can as much as we could last year to be able to put up to have, for they say it'll last like 2 years with no problem. And, you can go further than that and stuff and kind of get a lot of it in storage. Because what I
Yeah.
wanted to do was put up, like a year's worth of garden stuff and not really get into it so much. And then by next year, when we plant, this year, then we'll have a year already saved back in the garden stuff, so you can keep that in rotation.
That's a good plan. I assume you store all your own seeds then too, right?
We got hybrid seeds last year, but I got in the greenhouse. I got heirloom seeds. I hadn't really done a lot of saving, so I got to look into that exactly how to do that the right way. But that's what I want to focus on this year is hybrid stuff, so we can save the seeds and always be able to have something to plant.
You mean the heirloom stuff because the hybrid won't reproduce
Yeah,
fruit
the
the same.
heirloom. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people question me when I tell them that, and just do your own research is what I always say. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a proven fact that hybrids just don't reproduce from the seeds; they just don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, Big B Preps. I am also in the Eastern Time Zone, and Josh the Prepper, how's it going? Cat Lady Prepper 23 meow. I just had to say that once, but that's all you're getting. Hello, how's it going? Uh, I should rename my secondary YouTube account to the Gremlin Nation. People have been telling me to rename it, so I think I was going to do it to the second YouTube account just for fun. I only use
Yeah.
the second account to upload videos I don't want to lose, which is all my Bible reading videos. And yeah, I do want to announce while everybody's in here, I'm going to put up a video tomorrow doing a giveaway for my Patreon members and my Gremlin pack. Anybody in green is Gremlin pack. So I'm doing a special little giveaway of a couple of shirts just for them. So yeah, I figured I had to announce it. That's a shameless plug right there. So how's the weather? It's been nothing but snow and rain here for like 2 weeks.
We've had a lot of rain all year, really, and working in the logging business, it's really not something you want. But we ended up last night, we got our first snow of the year, so that kind of sucks. Honestly, I'm not a snow person.
Yeah, I don't mind snow. I'd rather be in a place with lots of snow than a place with 100-degree temperatures and 110% humidity, like East Texas, where I lived
Yeah.
for quite a long time. It gets so hot down there. I'd rather be up in Alaska than East Texas. But
I've always wanted to go to Alaska.
yeah, me too. We should go up and visit Alaska Prepper. We'll just
That'll
make it a
work.
road. We're taking Hutch with us. I think Gray Man's going. You better bring the merch though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna all go on a prepper convention up at Alaska Prepper's house. That would be awesome. We have to have passports if we're driving because you got to go through Canada. Oh, you gonna play
I'll
some?
bring this with me.
Oh, play us strum us a chord or two there. Go for it. That's awesome. I should learn to play the banjo. I really should.
It's definitely my favorite instrument.
Yeah.
I can play a guitar too, but my favorite's a banjo.
Yeah, I've been looking at picking up a guitar so I can learn to play it. I could used to be able to when I was like 12. I could play quite a few songs, but yeah, I haven't played it since I was 12, so I don't remember any of it. Yeah, I definitely need to pick up a good old acoustic. My brother has a Gibson that used to belong to my grandfather, and it's pretty old and pretty valuable, and he won't come off of it to let me use it to learn to play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll go over there and snatch it out of his house one day. But anyway, I shouldn't say that.
Instruments are a lot like old, antique vehicles and stuff. You get the right ones, the right age, they're worth some money.
Oh yeah, yeah, that I know for sure. Yeah, I always
The
like that. Just
banjo I got right there, it's a 1955 Gibson.
really, I bet you
Yeah.
that's valuable. Have you had it appraised?
No, not really, but when I bought it 3 or 4 years ago, I paid like 2,500 for it.
Yeah, yeah. You could
And
probably look up the value of it on Google. Google has pretty much all the information, right?
yeah, and
And what was I seeing earlier? Biden. Have you heard about this? Biden is signed some kind of new Obamacare bullcrap into law. I don't know if you know anything about Obamacare, which I don't know too much about it, but yeah, Biden reopens Obamacare enrollment period in 36 states. That's what happened today. And if you know, and they're offering free health care to certain people. I'm just wondering about the shot. How many of those people are going to have to take the shot to get that health care? And what's your
yep,
stance on that while we're on the subject? You taking the shot?
nah,
Nah,
don't need it. I'm good.
exactly. Nah, I'm good. I like that one. I just tell them to no, I won't comply, or something a little more vulgar. If they come to
Yeah,
my door, to be a lot more vulgar. But yeah, I'm not taking it. Um,
that's one thing I like where I'm at. I'm pretty rural, and like I said, working in the logging business, we're not around a lot of people. We're kind of, in the middle of the woods somewhere, so it's not like a lot of jobs where you got to do this or that to have your job and all that. And we never shut down for any of the lockdowns. We worked the whole time, because it's only like four of us on the crew.
yeah. Well, that's good. The only thing that shuts you down is the weather, then, right?
Yeah. Other than that, we keep on getting.
Northern Girl Hobbies, how's it going? So I did hear that Biden was trying to make it mandatory for all public school children to have the shot. He's trying to do that. It's the latest thing I heard besides the Obamacare thing. How you feel
Hmm.
about that? And do you have kids? And if so, are they in public school?
Yeah. We have three, and right now, our oldest she's in elementary, but we're not having a big fight over that so far. But if they do decide that, then we're gonna have to figure out something else.
Well, they might do it without your knowledge because several states have been doing this already, that they were just giving kids shots like this, and they're also allowing them to have abortions and things like this without the knowledge of the parents. So, I mean, you really
Yeah.
have to keep after them what's going on in that school day by day, or, yeah, I mean, I would hate
Well,
that to happen.
one good thing, like I said, is pretty rural and pretty small town, so pretty much everybody knows everybody. So you kind of, like got people on the inside, so to speak. So
Yeah.
you're not totally in the dark.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Smaller towns, when it comes to public schools, are a lot better, especially if it's low population area. But larger cities,
Yeah,
like I live not too far from Indianapolis, and that's just insanity there. I wouldn't let my kids walk into a public school over, as long as I'm still breathing. It's not happening. It's just no,
yeah,
will not happen. Have you heard about the whole, transgender, whatever gender you want to be, in the girls' locker rooms in schools thing that they're trying to put out there?
yeah. I've heard a lot of that, and it's crazy.
It really is. They're
It,
just, uh, I mean, how can you allow that in a public school system? I just, I don't see how you can allow that. I think I was
yeah,
watching Arkansas Living on the Tuesday live streams he was doing, and one of the times he said if he was in charge, he'd make everybody put their hand in their pants, and you raise your right hand if you was a girl and your left hand if you was a boy, and that's what gender you are. And yeah,
yeah.
that was the best statement I've heard all week. So that was
That
awesome.
that's pretty much true. I mean, it's crazy. I guess you can be anything you want to be, but there's got to be limits to something. I mean, it's just crazy.
I've seen videos of people marrying the ocean, like literally marrying the ocean. Like literally. I mean, how does that work? I mean, I don't understand how that even works. It's beyond my thinking there to understand how that works. It's insanity. That's just crazy. And how can
Yeah,
you be that crazy? I mean, and not know it. I mean, how can you be
yeah.
crazy and not know it? I just don't get it.
There ought to be some kind of indications there somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they used to have indications. I mean, the crazy kids had their certain time of day where they went to school, and a certain time of day when
Mm,
they got off of school, and they didn't mix them up with everybody. They had their classes all on the other side of the school in the back hallway, and just in case they went crazy. Not
yeah.
anymore. Now crazy people are just everywhere. They're just everywhere.
Yep.
You can't go nowhere without finding them. Especially people driving down the road. Yesterday, I was sitting right here in this chair and I heard a loud crash outside. And I look out there and somebody had run over the neighbor's carport because it had started snowing. And they tried to, you know, shoot around the corner over there, it looked like, and they just slid right into the neighbor's carport and took it out. And then they tried to back up and run away, but their car got stuck. So, yeah,
Um,
that was funny.
as a matter of fact, today I had to run into town this morning, and when I was coming back home, you got to go down like a little hill, and then it turns and goes across a bridge and stuff. And I was coming down, and I met a car, coming from across the bridge, getting ready to go up the hill or whatever, and just come in the curve like that, and
Yeah.
went there through the yard and flipped it. And I turned around and come back to see if they were hurt or anything, and it was an older guy driving it, and I guess the woman in there was his daughter or something, and they had two small kids in there, and she's like 8 months pregnant and stuff. But
Wow.
I think all of them are all right, from far as I could tell and stuff. But he's like, I don't know what happened. I was going slow, and I'm like, I didn't say nothing, but I met you. I know you won't.
No, you weren't, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're all okay. That could have been way worse for all of them, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that's just I've seen some crazy accidents just being a truck driver. I've once seen a purple Impala. It's like a early 2000s Impala, about a quarter mile ahead of me, shoot straight up in the air, just straight
mm,
up in the air in front of me on the interstate. And I pulled over and helped him drag out of there because it rolled several times and went into the ditch and bounced off a tree. And they seemed to be okay until the EMS team showed up, and then suddenly they were hurt, which
yeah.
was um, yeah, just yeah. The ugly prepper is in the house, man. We're praying for you. Broke your both bones in your legs. I watched that video. Everybody say a prayer for the ugly prepper. Having surgery tomorrow, if I remember correctly, right? Man, I gotta ask how you broke that leg. I really want to know because I'm curious. But yeah, I hope you're feeling a little better because that's gotta hurt. Yeah, not too bad currently. I assume you got some really good painkillers going right about now. Really good painkillers. I would hope at least, or some a lot of alcohol possibly. Either way. So what you drinking in that cup? I got coffee here. It's still hot too.
I don't have coffee at the moment. I've actually got Lipton Georgia peach tea. I don't know if you ever tried that, but I like it pretty good.
I like Southern style sweet tea. I don't really like fruit flavored teas, but Southern style sweet tea, which is something they don't do well in the North. Got to make it yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, they just don't do it very well anywhere past Kentucky. They just don't. I mean, it's sad. It really is. I need some good old sweet tea. I got to drive all the way
yeah.
back to Texas to get it. So yeah,
It's really a cultural thing.
yeah. They say there's better barbecue down south, but I disagree with that. I really do.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's just me. Mickey FC, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I like super chats. They're always like so bright. I had to
Yeah.
lower the brightness of my monitor because it was throwing off the camera. And I've been trying to mess with this thing all day just to try to get the quality better, to make it look better. And the lighting was really throwing it off. And I was playing with the light. I shut off the big light. I shut off every other light. I turned on just a little bitty light and I was looking like I was glowing. And I finally realized that it was my monitor that was causing it to be so bright. And that was the
Hmm.
weirdest thing. I had to crank the brightness almost all the way down on my monitor. And it was like, wow, I didn't know my monitor was so bright. It's huge, though. I mean, it's a 32-inch sitting in front of me, and it's probably a little bit past arm's length there from me to the monitor. So I got to back
Yeah.
up more. But let's talk about some more prepping. You say you prep mostly what you grow on your homestead. I know quite a few preppers that do that. One channel I follow is Homesteading family, and
Mm.
they've got just a pantry full of canned food. They don't really store anything but their own home canned food, and that's something I'd really love to do. I don't have really enough space to grow anything outside of growing in 5-gallon buckets currently.
Yeah.
So that's the goal right now is, just fill up a bunch of buckets with dirt and get started really soon here too. I think late February is about the right time to start seeds in my area.
Mm.
So, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
start
We
them. So, yeah.
we have other stuff, prepped up too. That's the goal, is to be able to be more self-sufficient, where you can produce enough stuff, per year to, sustain a whole year and things like that, and be able to not have to rely on stuff so much.
Yep.
We
A
got,
lot of people don't understand how hard it is to grow a garden. They think you drop a seed in the ground and walk away, and it doesn't work that way. I know for a
yeah,
fact it doesn't work that way. I'm sure you know better than I do, though.
especially, me and my wife both have full-time jobs, and then we got 3 kids and all that. So a lot of times in the summer, the way the days work out and stuff, we were out there with a flashlight, picking beans and bringing them in and washing them and stuff. And we started out, we had one canner from when we had the stuff before, and then we did this year, and we was getting so much come in, it just takes forever using one canner and running that whole process. So we got another couple canners where we can run at least two at a time,
Yeah,
so you can do about, I think it's 7 quarts per canner, so about 14 quarts at a time.
yeah.
So the ones we got are pretty tall. So if you do pints, I forgot how many that'll fit in there, but you can put another rack and you can double stack them, so you can really get a ton of pints in there.
Yeah, that's good to know. I have a Presto 24-quart canner is what I
Hmm.
use. So, and we've canned a few things in it. We've made our own jams, chilies, things like that. Some beef stew, things like that. What other kind of things do you can just besides, vegetables and stuff?
Um, she's made a little bit of jams and stuff this year, kind of getting into that. We hadn't done a lot of that. And we started canning some meat, like some chicken and some of the pork we had left over from the hogs and stuff. We canned some of that. So we hadn't done any meat canning until up till this year. So we're learning on that too.
Yeah, I know pressure canning is the best way to go with meat, but I was told with the jams it's better to do water bath canning. So we did pressure canning with the jams for a very short amount of time, and it
Hmm.
kind of made it a little runny. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we used a pressure canner too on the jams and stuff too.
yeah, did it come out runny? Because ours came out a little runny. So it's good for like spreading on bread, but yeah, that's about it.
We made some blackberry jam or preserve, whatever you want to call it, and is actually pretty thick. I'm not sure exactly how she made it and everything. I know she used that sure gel or whatever you call it that you put in there, but it came out really good. We got a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of wild blackberries in this area.
yeah, a lot of them. Hmm.
Hmm.
That's a good resource to have in your area. Are you worried about, if a big SHTF type situation happens, people coming to your area and basically pillaging all the natural resources?
Well, I don't want to sound too overconfident or anything, because that's, how most preppers are, but I actually got a pretty good little group, and I think, we come together and at least stand a fair chance. But like I said, being in a smaller town and a lot of rural, I mean, just about everybody around here has cows or, has something like that and raises a little garden, and, not totally dependent on the system. They do, some stuff kind of self-reliant. So I think that'll help a lot.
I see OFC Nation and Hoot Owl in the house, and Hoot Owl says if it's runny, just use it on pancakes. That's a good idea, Hoot Owl. That is a good idea. Yeah, I've always worried about especially highly populated areas. Now, even though you live in a rural area, you're still in a very densely populated region. And people, take examples from the Great Depression of what they did during that time period. They didn't stay where they were, and cities will basically empty out if there's no resources there. If there's no food or water, those cities will empty out into the outlying areas, into the rural areas, and they'll be, you probably have people looking for cows and looking for gardens and things like that, because people will just do whatever it takes when they become desperate and they don't have any food. They will go looking for it. I mean, it's just what's going to happen. So yeah, having a proper amount of security and being able to secure your area, and just knowing what's coming, having scouts and people that can warn you ahead of time. What kind of radio gear do you use?
I'm not huge into it, but I got my setup right here. I got a base station and meters and stuff like that. I got a buddy of mine that's in the group, and he's big into radios. He helped me fix a couple of them and get them set up and stuff like that. So he's kind of my go-to on that. But I got a base, and then I got a mobile set up in my pickup and everything.
Is it CB or is it ham?
It's CB. I don't have a ham license or anything. I got a couple of the small, like Baofangs and stuff for monitoring and stuff, but I don't have a license yet. But
yeah, I got
my buddy, he's got all that.
I'm gonna hook a CB up in here in the room just so I can monitor, because there's an interstate highway probably about 10 to 20 miles from me, and I think if I get the antenna up high enough, I'll probably be able to hear. And it really is a way to get some information, if there's information to be had. Like if something's, I don't know, if there's tanks rolling down the interstate, I'm going to know it pretty quickly by listening to the CB, if they're not jamming frequencies, that is. But yeah, definitely good to have radios. I also got the Baofang, which is in my EDC bag over there somewhere. Yeah, I think it's over there somewhere. But yeah, little Baofangs. I know Baofang, if you go to their website, they have a small, they're really little, and it's a base station type thing. It's made to go inside of a vehicle, and it has a 12-volt plug, so you can plug it into the light port in your vehicle, and then you just run an antenna to it, and you can get pretty good antennas that have the magnet mounts, stick them on your vehicles and things like that. So I've been looking at that. I think it runs for about $120-$130 or something like that, and I think it would be really interesting to have something like that in a vehicle. But we're having a CB in a vehicle, because that's what all the truck drivers and dump trucks and things like that use. And yeah, so it's kind of iffy. I always have my portable CB here. I don't have my batteries in it currently, but this is a really old portable CB radio that I use, and yeah, I need to put some more batteries in it. But it works. It works really well. And you can plug an external antenna here on the side of it and make it work even better when it comes to receiving transmissions. Now, it's never going to be that powerful to broadcast very far, but my concern with radios, even with the ham radios, is getting information, not giving information. OPSEC, operational security. I don't want to tell anybody anything. They don't need to know. I just want to know what they know. So, the more people talking over them, the more I'm going to know. And that's how I see radios anyway, because you could really give away too much information just by hitting the button alone. People can triangulate that signal and find you just by pressing the button. So it's really just an information intake kind of thing. Heartland Survival, how's it going? I see SHTF Engineering. I like that name too. That just has a lot of thoughts pop into my head when I hear that name. SHTF Engineering. What kind of things could we build in an SHTF situation? I could think of quite a few things. Not going to mention caltrops. You know what those are? Or caltrops, or however they're saying. Basically, it's a three-sided spike that always points up. You can make them out of nails. That would be very useful to have.
Yeah.
Does anybody got any questions? I just realized we're almost 45 minutes into this. So if anybody has any questions, please put them in all caps. I'll try to throw them up on the screen. I'll try. I always forget to do that, and I always say it and forget to do it, but I'll try anyway. Maybe I'll try.
I do have a welder too.
A welder? Do you know how to weld really well? Because I've been looking at purchasing a welder just to teach myself to weld, because I don't know how. I've never done it, but I want to learn. So I know freight has some surprises. So
I'm not an expert, like weld on ships and underwater and stuff like that, but as far as normal stuff, like I deal with equipment and whatever like that, I do a pretty good job, I reckon. 9 out of 10 things hold.
I threw a comment up on the screen from Gray Man. Can you see that?
I do see that. I guess I'll have to oblige.
Okay, go for it.
Don't call her at any request because I probably don't know them.
Awesome. I've always loved the sound of a banjo.
That was a little bit of I Saw the Light. We play that a lot at church.
Yeah, I recognize the song. Good old Hank Williams. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm thinking he saw the wrong light by the end of his life, though, from what I was reading at least. Yeah.
Yeah, probably so.
What kind of church do you attend?
It's actually Pentecostal church. I grew up in a Baptist church and everything, but we funny story with that. I was telling you earlier before we got on live here. I had a band before, when I was about 16 or something, and we played a lot of churches and stuff around. And the guy that's a preacher, him and his son both are a preacher at this church. They played a lot of places too, so we met them a time or two, playing music in different places. But we broke up the band a couple of years ago. Everybody got busy in different schedules and stuff like that. But we ended up going to church there, and we've been real close, and we play together every Sunday and stuff at church there. So it's been a good thing.
Yeah, I went to Assemblies of God, which is an offshoot of Pentecostal churches most of my life as a kid. I've been to Baptist churches, which I found to be very boring.
Yeah.
And I've been to a Catholic church, which I found to be rather creepy. What other church? I've been to an apostolic church, which I didn't agree with. And let's see how much more stuff I can knock off of my desk. So, yeah. And currently, I haven't attended a church since 2019 because bad things I keep happening in churches, and with the people that are supposed to be leading the church, bad things happen. So I just reverted to reading my book. Got to show my book. Reading my book,
Yeah.
and reading what it says. Do you have a copy of this one? Because this is the best.
I don't have that. The one I have is a Dake Study Bible, DAKE. If you've seen them,
I don't think I recognize that one.
It's got a lot of it's got the scriptures in there, and then it's got a lot of definitions and references and stuff like that. So it's really useful.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I know you can pretty much get any translation of the Bible, including this one, on Bible.com, and you can read the entire books there. There's several other places you can find them online too, to just read them and check them out for free. And I really prefer that one. It's like the best one I've ever had. So,
what I have is the King James version. What do you have there?
This is just the scriptures. This is scriptures, and it's from the Institute for Scripture Research. And what it is a direct translation from the original Hebrew text, instead of the King James version, which was a translation of a translation of a translation. So it was translated from Hebrew to Greek, and then from Greek to something else, and then something else to Old English. And then you can get the New King James now, which is a more modern language there, but it replaces a lot of the information in the King James version. Because it is the King James version, there was an agenda behind it when they wrote that book, because the king. So this had no real agenda, just other than to study the book. And what I really like about this is when you go into what is called the New Testament, places like Matthew, and you just read, especially any place where Jesus was talking, you can see anything he was teaching. It always puts it in bold print, and anything in bold print in this particular book has a little thing next to it, and it's a direct reference from the Old Testament. So you can see that Jesus was teaching the Torah pretty much throughout his entire life in here, and the Torah being the first 5 books of the Bible, the books of Moses. So, and it really ties in the old to the new, and puts it in a different light for me, really. So that's why I like it so much. That's one of the reasons I like it so much. It also keeps the names of, the Father. It keeps the name of the Son, which isn't Jesus. I mean, that's a Roman translation is what that is. His name was actually Yeshua or Yahshua, which should have been translated as Joshua in the book, which the definition in Hebrew of that name actually means salvation. That's what his name should have been, not Jesus. I don't know where they came up with that from, but yeah, I could go on about this for hours. So anyway,
it is really interesting. I don't know a lot of the, history and stuff behind it.
Yeah, there's a pretty interesting history behind that King James Bible for sure. And I have a lot of different Bible copies. I have the New International Version. I have the King James, the New King James. I have the I don't even remember them all. I got too many of them, just to say the least. Homestead Os, yep, that's what I was saying. The name Jesus came from the Romans, and I always wondered if it was a mockery toward him, because you know how the Romans treated him. They mocked him. They hung him on a cross. So I wonder if that name was something to do with the mocking that they were doing as they were, parading him through the streets, really, instead of his actual name, which is Yeshua, really. But yeah, it's you can't find much information on it. I do need to do more study on that because it is a curiosity to me. It's not really that important, but it's a curiosity, really.
Yeah, I'm, fascinated by details like that.
Yeah, me too. I've been using a program called eSword, which you can put 2 different versions of the book side by side, and it has the scriptures, the one I have, and you can put it side by side with the King James and see how they worded things quite differently. Especially in the 10 Commandments where it says thou shalt not kill. That's not actually what it says. It says thou shalt not murder. 2 very different things. Because if thou shalt not kill, how do we eat cows?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you eat anything? Because even when you cut a plant down, you're killing it. Native and devout preppers, how's it going? Cheers. You're late. Late. Shame being late. So, there's another really big one in there for the 10 Commandments that says thou shalt not lie or shall not tell a lie or something like that. That's not what it says. It says thou shalt not bear false witness to thy neighbor. 2 very different things. What else did I just drop off my desk? I got my foot up on something under my desk, and it's snagging some wires that's behind it, and it's dropping things off my desk. That's, maybe I should put my foot somewhere else. Yeah,
I hear you on that. I need to do some more organizing. That's kind of why I got this space set up, because it's the rest of the room is not as pretty.
B Charming says, Grim, what does it say about stockpiling food? I will refer you to the book of Genesis. Near the end of it, the story of Joseph. He had 7 years of plenty where he was stockpiling food, and then 7 years of famine where he was selling all the food he stockpiled. So, just read that one. That's my suggestion there.
Lessons.
Native and Devout says he's dealing with a 2-year-old tonight. I know exactly how that goes. Exactly. So we're going to run just a little while longer. We're almost at the hour mark. Please put questions in all caps or comments if you really want me to see it. But questions are what I'm looking for here. So questions in all caps and questions directed to my guest here. This is 6Shooter. His link is in the description. We got to see more of this homestead he has and all this growing and canning. You should definitely get some of this canning on video. People love canning videos. There's not enough information about canning out there. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it this year. Like I said last year, I couldn't really do as much with the editing and stuff. I just not too long ago got an app where I can put different clips together, because before, if I made a video, that would be recording a bit, hitting pause, sitting it down, and doing whatever and then coming back and unpausing and stuff. So it was a big pain in the butt, really. So being able to put those clips together and mix them, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's see. How long have you been homesteading? Let's see if I can put that question up there. There you go. I forgot I could do that.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier, really since last like February or March is really when we started. When we started with the chickens and then went on from there, as it got springtime and the garden and stuff like that. And from there, it's been pretty much, just adding on as we can. It's been a really busy year. Like I said, we started from nothing, and now we got chickens, we got goats, and all the fence and pens that requires, and smokehouse for smoking the hog meat. And we had hogs this year, which I didn't build a pen on that. I had that from a few years ago, but we had those to tend to, and the garden, and then making the garden bigger, and adding the greenhouse and everything. So it's been a lot going on.
Oh yeah, homesteading is a lot more work than people think. It really is. Hoodow has a question on the screen there, if you can see it.
Yeah, I see that. But actually, I started playing a mandolin when I was about 6 years old because my dad played and stuff, and I grew up playing with him, and I couldn't reach the end of a guitar being little like that. And then I kind of played a bit and slacked off, and played a bit and slacked off. And then when I was about 14 or 15, I got really into music again and picked the guitar back up and went on with that. And I played that till I was, I started learning the banjo about 16, but I couldn't do much with it. But I didn't really start playing it a lot until I was about 18 or 19. So I've ended up
Pool.
playing it pretty consistent about 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I played a lot of pool when I was a kid because my dad always played pool. He had pool. He was a pool hustler, just to say the least. He could run tables left and right and all day long. And yeah, so I learned a lot about playing pool as a kid. SHTF Engineering, thoughts on vacuum canning dry goods in glass?
I haven't done that yet, but I want to look into it. I've got a food saver and it's got the attachment part for that, but I hadn't tried it yet.
Alaska Prepper has some good videos of putting, dry goods in just a canning jar and throwing an
Yeah.
oxygen absorber in there. And I store extra oxygen absorbers in a quart size mason jar with the canning lids on there, and it does create a seal. And you have to pop
Hmm.
that seal off there to take them back out and then, reseal it. So it works. It really does work. So any more questions, guys? Oh, here we go. Homestead also had a good question. I had to scroll down. I was missing it. That's a good question.
They try to a lot of times. Our oldest is 5, so she can do, you know, right many things and then, on down from there, but they love being out there in it at least, fooling with the chickens and the goats and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, they actually helped us a little bit, when we slaughtered them, washing the meat and, toting it from here to there and stuff like that. So they're actually as involved in it as they can be at this age.
Yeah, yeah, young children. You got to start them early, or they'll, be stuck to phones and not caring by the time they hit the age 6, 7, and 8. So, yeah, I got to whip them into shape from time to time. OFC says, "What do you think of 17 agencies focusing on finding domestic, whats?"
Well, not surprised, basically, to say the least. But I mean, it's basically we knew it was coming. Ever since when November went like it did, we knew it was coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been expecting it too, but the problem I see with it is the people they think are those are us. They think we are,
Yeah,
and I think it's the other way around personally. So
yeah, it
we
definitely is.
meet in the middle here, and shots become fired because that's what it's going to end up being. That's just
Yep.
I don't see it being any other way now. It's inevitable that at some point they're going to run into the wrong pack of preppers, and it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, I seen some of whatever you want to call them's speech the other day saying that the ones that stormed the Capitol was white supremacist and he was doing some kind of executive order or something like that for that or whatever. It's just like, here we go.
Air Sniffer's paranoid. He is really paranoid, from what I can tell. That's just his biggest problem is how paranoid he is. And a lot of people are saying he has dementia, and that's what's making him so paranoid. Which I could see that being true because he does, show the symptoms.
I honestly believe that.
Yeah, that's one of the things I believe too. Yeah, and eventually they're coming for us. They've already talked about it. They're trying to pass bills about how much food you can have in your house. If you have more than three days, they're going to take it. They want you to register all your ammo. If you have more than what they want you to have, which is not a lot, they want to come and take it. So,
yeah. Well, again, like I said, we knew this was coming. They've been bringing in communism. It's been a long time coming, and it's just basically coming to a head.
Yep. B Charming says, what would a Bic lighter get me in a barter? Depends on the situation, really. It really depends on the situation and how badly somebody wants that Bic lighter. Right now, I'd give you 50 cents for it.
If I was lost in the middle of the woods and about to freeze to death, I'd give you anything I had for it.
Yeah, probably. That's a good point. Pretty much anything you have if you're dying. Oh, I got a hair on my. Oh, there we go. So we are over the hour mark. I'm going to take one or two more questions. If you guys type them out there quickly, and then we're going to call it a day because, what was that? Oh, I forgot that was there. I got too many electronics. I really do. This one needs to shut up.
Is that some unexpected questions show up in the middle of the night?
No, usually this thing, it's linked to my channel. So any comments, once it kicks online, which it does randomly, then it starts alerting me that I have new comments on my channel, which, that's why I usually keep it muted. But for some reason, it wasn't muted today. Probably because I reset it not too long ago. I rarely use that thing anymore because I just don't have a purpose for it. I used to use it to read comments, but now I got my system here set up to do it a lot easier. And I have the comments because on YouTube, there's a little three dot button if you're on a PC right above the comment section when you're watching the video. And if you click that, it has options in there. And one of them is to pull the comments off of the video and put them anywhere you want on your screen, just the comments. So I have the comments over there. I have StreamYard right here, and I have the actual stream playing over there, and that's all on one screen. And I have another screen hooked to the computer over there, which has news articles pulled up, my MeWe account, and my Discord server. And a lot of things always happening in Discord. Always. Right now we have like 125, almost 130 people in the Discord server. So there's always something going on over there. Always something. I've noticed they've been pushing Alaska Preppers Discord more, and I just checked that, and I still have more people. So that makes me happy. That makes me happy. I'm beating Alaska Prepper at one thing, and that's technology. So there we have it.
Yeah.
One thing. I don't see any more questions. Oh, there we go. Native and Devout. Where is it on this other screen? I got to find it. There we go. I'll put it up.
Well, like we were saying earlier, basically the number one thing is food and homesteading and stuff. I think we're pretty good on, the freedom seeds and stuff. You can never have enough, but with the way prices are now, you pretty much got to take what you got.
Yeah.
But and another thing is communications, radios and stuff like we were talking about, because, you don't know how long that the phone lines are going to be up, and as long as it's not an EMP or somebody actually jamming the signal, radio should work.
Yep. You're going to have to do a video on that setup back there if you haven't done it already, because I'm curious. I want to see more about that. So that would
actually, when I get everything, fine-tuned up and learn more about it, I will, because this here I just actually added before I jumped on here. Me and my buddy fixed that today, and all that good stuff.
Is that a power? That big box behind?
Amplifier.
Amplifier. Okay, so you can broadcast a lot farther with that then.
So and it has a preamp, they call it, where it actually pulls in signal to help receive and everything.
That's awesome. So what's
I
your
was
range thing for talking wise?
I was talking to a guy, but he's got a good radio set up, a base station and everything before the amp, just the straight radio and antenna, and he's about 20, 25 miles away, something like that. And he said, it sounded good on his end. And I've talked to some others that were closer and stuff, but I hadn't talked to anybody far off with this yet. I talked to somebody today before I come on here, and I could barely hear them. But then when I flipped that preamp on where it pulls it in, I could hear them clear then. So that definitely helps on the range.
Yeah, I wonder how far away they were.
I would say they were probably 15 miles away, something, I think, if I got their area figured out about right. But like I said, down here, pretty rural and stuff. We don't have any huge mountains until you get about 30 miles away from me or something like that. But it's a lot of, ups and downs and valleys and bottoms and stuff. So it's kind of, it can be iffy sometimes. You can talk to somebody that's 50 miles one way and can't talk to somebody that's 20 in a certain spot.
Yeah, line of sight, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Autoimmune Prepper said, how many people have a license for ham radio? I don't.
I don't.
And I honestly, and a lot of radio operators hate it when I say this, but I don't recommend you get a ham license because you're not going to need it in SHTF. You can still use it in emergency situations, and it's only used to track you. So that's my feelings on that.
My buddy that's really into radios and stuff, he's a ham operator, and he basically doesn't even use it that much. Mostly what he uses is CBs, and you don't have to have a license for. And like you said, that's just giving away a lot of information that you don't really need to.
Exactly.
Because, like I said, you can get the main thing. What I understand with ham is your distance and range is being able to use those repeaters. But you can get a good CB setup and pretty much do anything that I see that I need to do, or talk to somebody, because I got a vertical antenna which is straight up, and then I got a horizontal beam which you can turn different directions and kind of focus your signal so you can talk further away by a straight, if somebody's in a certain state and what direction they are and dial it in, you can reach out and talk to them.
Yeah, I heard those things can hit hundreds of miles just with that kind of a setup. So
my dad used to have be big into CBs and stuff when he was younger, and he had the big beam set and everything and all. This is actually his radio that he used to have, and he's kind of out of it now, but he got rid of his good antennas a long time ago. But I mean, he would talk 3 or 4 states away like it won't no problem, and over on like the sideband and stuff, he talked to ships out in the ocean.
Yeah, we need to talk more about radios for sure, because I need to set up a base station to where I can talk at least 20, 30 miles, because that's be the way to go. I do recommend the small ham radios for emergency purposes, because they can pick up EMS, fire, on emergency channels. They can pick up weather radio, but you can get CBs now pick up weather radio. So
a lot of them have that feature. But I will say, my buddy was talking about it too. These old radios here, these base stations and stuff, a lot of people like them because they're cool, and I like it because I got it for free. But the mobile radios now, like I got in my truck, far as radio to radio, it's more powerful than this one is.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is get you a mobile radio and a power supply to run it, where you can plug in the wall, and then you hook your wires to that, and a base station antenna. And that's actually what he's doing. He's not running a actual base station anymore. He's just using that mobile radio. Yep.
It's my Cobra.
He's got a lot of those up there that he's been fixed for people. He said they're real good radios and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's pretty decent.
That's all you.
About 20. I could get out about 20 miles when I was in my dump truck with that thing, just using a Firewire. What is it? I think it's a 6-foot antenna sitting over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a 6-foot antenna.
And my radio in the my radio in the pickup, I got a Wilson 1000 Magnum mount on it, and I talk, 15, 20 miles with no problem on that.
Yeah. Yeah, CB is definitely a good way to get longer range communications. I still recommend anybody getting into it to get, the little Baofeng ham radios just to, get more information, because you can currently, while the grid is still up, get more information from a ham radio. But for usage, you can get out a lot farther with a CB radio, obviously. So yeah, this is definitely a good thing to have. And I have a couple of different base stations. I have 2 or 3 of these things. So I am decently stocked on CBs. Definitely need to figure out what kind of antenna I can mount to the roof. I could probably just run that Firewire out there and mount it to the roof. Probably get pretty good range just by doing that. But yeah, if I had one of the fires, oh yeah.
My buddy that's big into them that I was talking about and stuff, he said when he was younger and first got into it and somebody was helping him with it and everything, he said that it's all depends on your standard waves, getting your antenna tuned to make it do the, get the performance out of it. And he said he took a metal clothes hanger and made an antenna out of it and talked on it.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't make clothes hangers like they used to, do they? They're all plastic. Yeah, I got to look more into tuning the antenna on this particular thing. It has Delta Tune on there, which is just a tuning knob, and it has other antenna options in there, and I've never really gone into them all that much. So
yeah, it should have a standard wave meter on there as a setting. So what you do is there's a lot of videos on that, but you'll go down to channel 1 and check your standard wave, and then you'll go to channel 40 and check your standard wave, and you try to get your high on 40 and your channel 1, you try to get them pretty even, and then you're good through the midway channels.
I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm definitely going to look up videos. I am looking to get a power supply for this thing to wire this one in the house. And because I mean, like I said, I'm not really concerned about talking that far, so I can use this in the vehicle all day long. Yeah. So I still want to get another base station similar to this Cobra. My dad was a truck driver at one part in his life, and he had some pretty old Cobra CBs, and I don't know what happened to them. Unfortunately, I wish I still had them, because those were nice CBs. I'm talking the old, 70s models Cobra CBs. Those things were nice. But yeah, this one's got the digital screen on there, changes colors and all this crap I don't need on it. But yeah, that's just how everything is nowadays. They don't make them like these, unfortunately.
Back then in the 70s when the CB come out, they were doing what we're doing right now.
Yep, pretty much, without the video. But
yeah.
All right, guys, one more question. Throw it in all caps, because I got to go eat dinner here soon. It's past my dinner time.
I'm getting a mite bit hungry myself.
Yeah, it's time to find some food, see what's cooking, because I smell food. I do.
Go wrestle up a possum or something.
Nah, this ain't Arkansas Living. This is not Arkansas Living's channel. We ain't wrestling no possums. I know somebody's going to ask a question. I'm waiting just a minute and seeing why I got like 20 notifications on this device. I hate this thing. I wish I could throw it away, but I use it for too much recording. It's my mobile camera. That's pretty much all it is at this point.
I will say with the CBs, like we were talking about, if you got a group or, like I said, rural and stuff like that, you get one base station in your base camp, and then you get a bunch of those walkie-talkie style like you got, you have your comms set up for your whole group there.
Yeah, and this thing's like 10 to 20 years old, so they make a lot smaller, a lot lighter ones. This one takes 8 AA batteries, but they're way more efficient nowadays. They have the ones with the lithium-ion batteries that are rechargeable and things like that. All right, last question. You did say you were a logger, so I'm pretty sure you got that one.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, as bad as it sounds, we don't actually burn wood. We got, electricity, heat, and we've got the fireplace logs, the propane, and I got a propane heater in my greenhouse. But I want to get a wood heater for my, barn out there for, just general use when we were, doing all the hog stuff and stuff. It's kind of cold in there. It'd been nice to have some wood heat, but I've got some hickory wood stacked up to smoke the hog meat with.
There you go. All right, Be Charming wants to know how you feel about spam.
Well, that ought to be a given. Like I said, I work in logging and homesteading, so I can live on that. I love spam, potted meat, Vienna sausages, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't eat pork. Not anymore. I used
Mm,
to. Not anymore. They told me in my Bible not to, so I didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, works for me. All right, last one. OFC said, would you take the new test for the COVID that China is using? It's a test for to see if you have it. I guess China's put out a new test. I ain't taking no test.
Uh-uh.
Need
Uh,
to be. I know when I'm sick.
I figure if I did get it, then I would treat it like the flu. And, unless I get bad enough to be hospitalized, and then it is what it is. But normal circumstances, no, I'm good.
All right, Prepper Wizard. This is the last question now. Nobody else can stop with your questions. Prepper Wizard. I'm just gonna throw it up on the screen right there. That's a good question, so I had to include it.
I have. I honestly just started a compost pile not too long ago, and I've seen some videos on people using it to heat the greenhouse. But we had an electric heater in there for a while, but when it gets real cold, it just won't keep up. So we put the wall unit in, and
Yeah,
so far that's doing good. But I would like to get a small wood stove, like for a tent or something, for a backup off grid. If the grid goes down, I can throw that in there and, run the chimney up and heat it that way. But no, I
I've
hadn't done that yet, but I've seen some interesting videos on it.
Yeah, we have a fireplace, but I used to have a wood stove in my old place, and I really would like to get one of those little camp stoves, just, because you
Mm,
could heat a single room really efficiently with one of those little things. You just got to be careful, make sure you pipe it out properly, make sure you got something
hmm.
around it to keep the heat from getting to the walls or the carpet or anything like that. But I mean, they use them in tents, so
Yeah.
definitely a good thing to have. So, would you like to give any shout outs before we go?
I just want to say I appreciate you having me on here, and I've had fun and look forward to doing it again.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate everybody watching and supporting us and all that. And all us preppers need to stick together because, as you were saying earlier, I think things are going to get tough this year on our group specifically.
Oh, yeah. They're coming for us. I guarantee it. They're coming. When they get here is questionable, but they're coming. That's for sure.
And I like the railroad thing you're doing. I need to get with you and find out some more info on that.
Oh yeah, we're trying to get it set up. I need to get with Hutch and see if he got that paperwork I sent him because yeah, and we're trying to get before Monday the website online. The website's just for general informational purposes. That's really pretty much all it's for, and take donations to help support the cause. But yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that more. All right,
Mm.
guys, go check out 6Shooter. The link is the second link in the description, just under Grindstone Ministries. And Grindstone is something you should click if you haven't done so already. And yeah, I
End
appreciate
it
you
out
being.
with my hat.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to end with a hat. You should have been wearing that hat the whole time. Now, yeah. I mean, look, I keep this one on. I even wear this one outside. I go outside and get the craziest looks when I'm wearing this hat. Craziest looks. All right, guys. This has been 6Shooter and Grim. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Say bye.
See ya.